Gwen so much. The hospitality has been amazing. Gwen and I met for the first time last night, but we'd been communicating since, and she had said something as we were walking the house, and she didn't even finish the conversation because we got interrupted, and she goes, my husband was wondering how you were going to just come here, like you didn't know what you were getting yourself into. And I was laughing thinking about it when I was going to bed last night. But it's been amazing, and I had met Amy at an event I spoke at here in Cincinnati in April, and so I'm happy to be back. My first experience ever in Cincinnati was back in April, and so everybody is always so kind and hospitable, and I love it. My experience with eWomen dates back to about 6 years ago. I joined the Philadelphia chapter of eWomen when I first launched my Butler Bag company. I got nominated for the Made It to a Million award at the national conference about 4 or 5 years ago. So my relationship and affinity for eWomen dates back, and it's definitely a powerful networking opportunity for all of you. So I'm so happy to see you all here. And anytime I speak anywhere, I know that you can be in 10 other different places, if not more. And so I always respect and admire you for making the effort and investment in yourself and time. And in return, my desire is to give you as much as I can of me. So I have a short window of time for as much as I want to say. So I'm going to talk really fast, which we do in New York and Philadelphia. So get ready to write fast and keep with me. How many of you are entrepreneurs in this room? I feel like everyone I've met is an entrepreneur. There's really no one from a corporate background in here? No? Wow, it's amazing. Normally there's a little bit of both, but I noticed every single person I talked to today was an entrepreneur. So everyone in this room is going to get what I'm about to say. My life as an entrepreneur began when I was in first grade. It did. Only Sister Elizabeth did not realize that my life as an entrepreneur was beginning then when she tied me to my chair. She didn't realize I was truly perfecting my networking skills. And she saw it as a disruption of the classroom when I was walking around in the middle of class. And so when my mom came, she thought I was going to be mad. She thought she was going to be mad. My mom wasn't mad because my mom was an entrepreneur. And my mom said to her, didn't you realize she's working on her networking skills? And sure enough, Social 101 was always like my top area that I thrived in. But networking is such a critical part of success. And entrepreneurs, especially in the beginning stages, we have this list of things to do, and we try and bury ourselves in our office. I have all this work to do. But the biggest thing you have to do is get out and connect with people and make relationships. One of my mentors taught me over a decade ago. His name is T. Harbecker, and his number one mantra is your network is your net worth. Not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally, physically. Every aspect of who you are is a reflection by who you surround yourself with. It's something our parents say when we're younger, but it's true. If you want to know what stage you are in your life, look at the people around you, because you'll be able to see pretty quickly by where your friends are. It's a reflection, it's a mirror. They're there to elevate you. Some people are to show you how much you've grown. Some people are there to make sure that you know how much you've gone, because you need to let go. Women, we have trouble with this. We feel like we still need to check in with everyone that we went to kindergarten with, or else we're a bad friend. But sometimes letting go is how you can grow. And it's not that anyone's bad, it's just your time together in life is now evolving. And so all of these things about building your business, there's so many aspects, and often we get caught up in the things that don't really matter the most. We get caught up in the technical things, and the technical things is execution. Execution has to happen. Often we're not the ones that have to be the ones executing. Somebody else can execute. My business partner today is the opposite of me. He would die standing here. This would be the worst experience of his life, to stand here in front of you. For me, this is my high. This is where I get most excited. So finding partners that allow you to be you and them to be them. He likes to do all the background stuff, all the tasky things. Oh, as an entrepreneur, kills me. That's not what I'm good at. And I've identified that. And so your life as an entrepreneur is a journey of your own awareness. I always say entrepreneurship is a journey of self-transformation. It's the people that decided to stop living in everybody else's boundaries and expectations and limiting beliefs and step out and find themselves and express themselves. Your businesses are an expression of who you are. They're an expression of your creativity. Allow that to be. I'm doing this challenge right now for USANA. Every day I do a post. Everyone can participate in it, but it's sponsored by USANA. And it's called the Best You Challenge because every day I challenge you to see, to feel, to look at yourself in a different way and to become aware of who the best you is and live in that space and integrity every day. Today's challenge was to find your truth, stand in your truth, and always tell the truth. And the reason for that is because we're often playing small in life because somebody else told us to play small. We're often playing small because our friends expect us to play small. Or playing small because someone told us that we weren't capable of playing bigger. But once you decide this journey, once you decide this path, you're never going to feel the satisfaction and the fulfillment until you're living your truth, who you authentically are. And sharing that, standing in it, and sharing it with the world is how you exude happiness and power that inspires and empowers other people. If you don't stand in conviction of who you are, you could have the best 60-minute or 60-second, please, not 60 minutes, 60-second elevator pitch, and no one's going to buy it. They're not going to feel it. I get people asking me all the time, I want to know how to build my brand. And I look at them and I say, who are you? And they look at me like, what do you mean, who am I? Who are you? Because you will never know your brand until you know yourself. And until you start on that journey of awareness of yourself, you will never ever know your brand. And people feel that. They buy into what's true and authentic. People know when you're not standing in the best version of yourself. And it continues to evolve. Who we see ourselves to be 5 years from now is an evolution, but the evolution has to be occurring every day. Waking up with the intention to be the best person that we can be in the capacity that we have today, which means making the right choices, which means being mindful. Mindfulness is one of the #1 tips to building your business. I'm going to give you some of the technical stuff that you're all thinking that you're going to hear today, but I'm going to give you the real juicy and meaty things first. The real things that matter. Mindfulness. If you're unaware of your self-sabotaging behaviors and habits, then you're going to continue to sabotage your potential. If you are not aware of the language that comes out of your mouth, instead of saying, I want to lose weight, guess what's going to happen when you say, I want to lose weight? You're not losing weight because you didn't make a commitment. You gave yourself an out. You have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I will lose weight. Changes everything, correct? I will lose weight by October 30th. I will lose 15 pounds by October 30th. Do you see how it changes everything? Now you've committed. You've invested. But mindfulness, being mindful of the words that we use, the people that we're surrounding ourselves with. Are you surrounding yourself by people that share in your beliefs? Are you surrounding yourselves by people that share in your desires and passions? Are you sharing your time with people that lift you up or drag you down? Because if you're surrounding yourself by people that drag you down, our instinct is to blame the other person for their faults. But guess whose fault it is? It's yours. Because you're diminishing your worth. You're not acknowledging your value. And you're allowing other people to bring you down with them. When you're stepping out of a comfort zone and you're evolving, as your business will, you will grow out of relationships. And that's okay. But if you still feel responsible for those relationships that are dragging you down and holding you back, the only person to blame is yourself. Being mindful is being aware of every thought that you think, because yes, your thoughts do create a reality. I could go on a list and a list and a list and a list of things that should not have ever happened logically in my life. And that did, because I believed that they would. I thought that they would. I knew that they would. And I allowed my thoughts to be my committed future. I allowed my thoughts to be something I wasn't willing to compromise. When you make your goals and your beliefs something that you're not willing to compromise, no matter who's coming at you and what's coming at you in life, then that creates your reality. Where you're standing today, if you're having obstacles, you have to see them as opportunities. We have control of one thing and one thing only in life: your perspective. Every single thing that happens to you, everything, even things that seem awful, everything has beauty in it. You have to choose to see that beauty and allow that beauty to give you the power to go forward, to give the gift to somebody else. Your perspective is the one thing you can control all day, every day. I heard somebody say earlier, I forget who it was, when you're having a bad day. My mantra is I only have good days. I only have good days. And yes, there are moments where things come at me. But if I say, oh man, why is this happening to me? Versus, I only have good days. It's my mental reset button. Because as an entrepreneur, you'll have things constantly coming at you. Because remember, you welcome this journey. You welcome this journey of self-transformation. You can't transform without obstacles. You grow the most through pain. That's where you emerge. If you allow yourself to be strong and not be a victim, that's where you grow. If everything's good, you're not really growing that much. You can be aware and in tune, but true growth happens when there's an obstacle. So instead of looking at an obstacle like, man, why has this always happened to me? You can look at it and say, what am I supposed to be learning right now? Because the faster you figure out what that is, you'll be on to your next thing. Because the universe will continue to give you the same obstacle and challenge until you learn. It might evolve in a different way. It might have different clothes on. It might be coming in a perspective of a female versus a male, or a male versus a female. It'll keep showing up. But if you see all the obstacles coming to you as an opportunity to say, what am I supposed to learn? And how beautiful is the growth that's going to come from this opportunity right now? It changes everything. It gives you strength, inner strength. It's where you dig down deep. And the resilience is worked like a muscle. I actually had somebody say to me the other day, is it possible that you're too resilient? I never thought of that before. I really didn't. And then they were saying it to me because I forgive people too often. Not often, but I forgive everybody. And they were trying to say to me, maybe you're too resilient in forgiving everybody. Which is taking me to my next principle for you guys. And I laughed and I was like, I never pondered too resilient before. It's actually interesting, and I'm still pondering it, because it's something that's really a deep thought if you think about it. I would prefer to be too resilient than not resilient. But I forgive all the time, because if you don't forgive, guess who's getting hurt? You. You're holding space for something negative. You're holding on to something that's holding you down. It's a weight, it's shackles on your feet. Most of the time you're mad at someone, they're off on their own journey in life. They don't even know and they don't even care. Meanwhile, you're sitting there with all this anger. I can't believe she did that to me. Didn't she know how that felt when she said that? No. They didn't, because they're off. They might not be aware. They might not be in tune. They might be in a very different space than you. They maybe came in your life to teach you a lesson. Forgiveness maybe being one of them. If you're not forgiving and you're holding on, you're not making room for the good things. I know there's some interior designers in here. And for those, we'll get this with the feng shui. Feng shui is about clearing space, correct? So that good space, good energy can come in. It's the same thing with inside of us. Because if you're holding space for somebody that's not benefiting your life, you're not allowing somebody who's going to benefit to come in. It's like film on your glasses. If you have film on your glasses, you're not seeing all the beautiful things around you. Because that film is holding you back from seeing the other beauty. So in forgiving, you allow yourself freedom. I say forgiveness equals freedom. Freedom. And so sometimes it can be challenging to forgive. But if you're not, then you're holding yourself back. And that responsibility comes back to you. Another thing is the only challenge or the only race is the race within. Your only competition is within yourself. It's not with your neighbors. It's not with your direct competitor. It's within you. When I was a kid, I ran track. And I was in the Junior Olympics. And I was running the 200 and the 400 were my races then. And my coach was an Olympic runner at one point in time. And he said to me, you have the ability to win. You have the natural gift and talent to win. But there's something in you that every time you hear somebody right behind you with a, you turn around. And every time you turn or move your head, you lose seconds off of your time. And so sure enough, and I was running and I was in that final stretch, truly the final stretch, and I was in first place. And sure enough, what happened? Life gave me an opportunity to learn a really profound lesson. Because I heard the coming up behind me, and I turned my head as my coach had already pointed out that I did, and I turned and I tripped and I fell. And I lost. I didn't get anything. I mean, maybe last. But I lost that opportunity that I'd worked so hard for. But it's a metaphor of life. Because if we're constantly looking behind us and around us, we're not focused on our authentic gifts. Your uniqueness is your power. Your uniqueness. Every single one in here has a different uniqueness, which is a different set of power. I might say the same exact thing as somebody else, but the way somebody else presents it might resonate differently with other people. The stories that they have to have gotten to the conclusion is different, so it hits home with somebody else. Your uniqueness. You might have tons of other businesses around you that are similar to yours, but your uniqueness is what draws your customers. But if you're too busy being somebody else, your uniqueness isn't shining. Your gifts aren't shining. So you're not going to attract the people that you're supposed to. Being true and authentic and transparent exudes and radiates to the world happiness. People always say to me, how does it look like you're getting younger as you get older? Because I'm happier. The happier I get, the younger I get. And happiness is my fountain of youth. It's the only real fountain of youth. The happier I get, I know, the younger I appear to people. Because happiness is a sparkle in your eye, and it's an energy that you exude to other people. It's what people want to follow. That's true leadership. Leadership is not remembering somebody's name, shaking their hand with the right firmness, looking in their eyes, saying the names 3 times in their head so you don't forget it. That's not leadership. That's the technical stuff. True leadership is radiating an energy and a power that people want to follow, and they don't even know why they want to follow you. But whatever it is that you have, they want it. That's true leadership. It's kindness, it's consideration, it's generosity, it's living your life of service for other people. Going back to, you cannot build your brand until you know yourself. I was telling Gwen a story in the car ride here today, and I guess I was supposed to share it with you guys because it's just like in the front of my mind, and I probably wouldn't have thought of it today to share with you. But a couple years ago, a year and a half ago, I had my business partner steal from me. And not the one I told you about, a different one. And it was a really challenging time for me. And I felt betrayed, and I felt frustrated, and I felt set back, and I felt all of these emotions that would be a normal thing to feel. There was even a moment where I thought to myself, I don't know if I can do this again. I don't know if I can rebuild this again. How am I going to rebuild it again? And it really truly was a gift. That time period of shedding. I mean, I shed the people around me, shed all the ideas of that time period. I shed a lot. And it allowed me to rebuild myself. To launch right now, which is one of my favorite businesses to date, which is called Empowered. And it empowers and inspires other people through jewelry, through clothes. It's all my quotes. During this horrible, terrible time, these women came to me. And they said, we've followed your career, we've watched you speak, we've read your book. And you have these quotes that are so refreshing and empowering, like, I only have good days. And we want to put it to jewelry. And I looked at them and I said, I never thought to do that before. And they said, well, we believe that it will give you more tools to do exactly what you do every day, to empower and inspire people. But prior to this, right prior to this moment, when I was struggling so much, I called a mentor that I hadn't talked to in a long time, who very much was a tipping point for me about a decade ago. And I said to him, I can't pull it together. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what to do. I'm visualizing everything, and every time I visualize, then I'm not getting the outcome that I visualized. And he said to me, in order to get on the path, we set goals. And goals are more superficial vehicle to get you to where you're going. And then once you get masterful in your goal setting, then you start to visualize, because that allows you a larger landscape to envision what you most can't see for themselves, to envision big. Once you master visualization, in order to get to the next level, you have to learn that this life isn't about you. It's about everybody else. And until you're clear in your intention of what all your goals and visualization is all about, you will not get any further. So if you want to go to the next level, you have to get clear, crystal clear, in who you are and why you do what you do. And it forced me to really reflect and take an enormous step back. Because I would go on QVC and I would visualize selling out. I would visualize the time. I would visualize the sold out sign coming across. I would visualize it all. That week, I had a huge opportunity, because even though we know things and we believe them, we still need like validation and more validation for the validation. And so I got to test this theory. I went on QVC and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and no one sells out at 3 o'clock in the morning on QVC. It's not the ideal time. So I went on and I changed my visualization to an intention. Normally I'd visualize selling out in 4 minutes, and I had my butler bag at the time. Instead, my intention was, number one, to give women whose lives are out of control a solution to make them feel more in control. And secondly, and more importantly, to inspire and empower anyone watching this who's had a dream like mine to go for it. I sold out that night in 3.5 minutes. And so some can call it coincidence. I will call it validation. And it forced me to become even more clear to understand what intentions are. And Gwen asked me in the car, what is yours? And my intention, my macro intention for life, is to empower and inspire as many people as possible to know that they're capable and worth more than they ever knew was possible. And most people want to empower and inspire people, but you got to get real with yourself. Real. Peel back, why do you want that for people? And once you have that intention, all the other things start to show up again. like those women. Those women came to me out of nowhere. I call them the miracle moment. It was a miracle moment. They came to me out of nowhere and gave me the platform to make that intention happen. And as I shared also with Gwen in the car, my girlfriend at that time period looked at me and she said, when your message becomes clear, the megaphone also arrives. And my message became clear. My intention shifted. And so all of you, when you leave here today to build your business, I challenge you to become very clear in your intention. I mean clear, get raw, get real, get honest. Why you do what you do usually goes back to something that happened to you in your childhood. Usually it goes back to something that was hurtful, painful. And doing what you do is your own healing process too. And you're sharing your wisdom in your healing process with others. It's not about your products. Your products are just a vehicle of an expression. It's not about your services. That too is a vehicle of your expression that you can put on a piece of card, piece of paper, and put a number next to. Financial stability and economic independence is critical. But all of that happens once all these other things are in place. All the technical things. In Build Your Business Bootcamp, I talk about how to get on TV, how to become an expert in your industry, how to elevate your brand to a level that everyone's coming to you. All those things don't matter if you don't get to this stuff first. This is the real stuff. A couple of things I also want to talk about before we close up because I got my warning. Having complaint-free days. As the introduction said, I live a life of believing that if you're going to complain about something, you better do something about it. If you catch yourself complaining, come up with a solution. That's how I came up with the butler bag. Because my mom always told me I wasn't allowed to complain about something unless I was going to do something about it. And I tell my children the same exact thing. It drives you from a complaint mindset, victim mindset, scarcity mindset, to an abundant mindset of solutions, tapping into your creativity, pushing you. I had no idea how I was going to come up with the solution for a bucket for a handbag. 6 months later, the solution arrived in my dishwasher with utensils in it while I was sleep deprived, nursing six-month-old twins. That's where it came to me. But I planted the seed when I complained. What is the solution going to be? I have no idea. I can't draw. Not even a stick person. Can't. I didn't go to design school, so all those people at FIT are sure going to be mad at me if I call myself a designer. What am I going to do? Another thing is having compassion. Compassion for everyone and everything. True compassion. And being a teacher. I said to you earlier about letting go of those people that drain you. You can still have compassion for them. And living with compassion and forgiveness can be a role model for them becoming aware and awakened. And then they can come back if they want to add value to your life as you are adding value to theirs. But compassion is something that people see and feel from somebody. Somebody who's being authentically compassionate. One other thing that's really simple, people don't get how important this is smile. All day, every day, smile. Think about what you feel when you see people that look like this. Do you want to walk up to them? Or if you see somebody smiling, you think, wow, they're approachable, they're open, they're welcoming. When you make a phone call to anyone, smile on that phone call because I can hear it and everybody else can hear it. Walk around the room if you can. I like to skip before I get on the phone. I kid you not. Skip. Because think about what kids look like after they're done skipping. Happy. Energy. High, right? I skip and then I make a phone call. Because that makes my energy higher. And the person on the other side is like, I feel like I just drank coffee hearing you speak to me. That's exactly how I wanted you to feel. Because they're buying into you and your energy. They barely even heard what I said. All they know is they felt like they had coffee talking to me. They felt energized and inspired and excited. Walk with the intention every day to empower and inspire people. You're not selling a product, you're selling a dream. You're selling an emotion. And quite honestly, if you're really, truly, authentically giving it, you're not selling anything. You're just giving. I thank you all for coming here today. I had a million more things to say to you. But time flies fast. I do have something that I would like to ask Amy to help me pass out, and I have a date. I do this Build Your Business Boot Camp that's an intensive, and it's via the internet. And I do talk about how do you get on TV? How do you write a pitch for producers? How do you become an expert and write for all these magazines? I talk a lot more about these true fundamentals of building a business, though, too. I believe you can't teach somebody the secrets of success without teaching the psychology of success, the true psychology of success. So the Build Your Business Boot Camp, I do via the internet with a whole group of people, and I use a platform that allows people to engage. And what's been really cool, and every time that I do it, is everybody becomes friends they're all brought there together for a reason. They all become friends, they all wind up connecting and staying connected and promoting and doing business together, and it's really cool. But I do it virtually so people from all over the world can be involved. I'm adding a date to that, which is September 10th. So that, and for those of you who want to do it sooner than October, I have a really big one coming up in October, two coming up in October. So for those of you who want to do it sooner, September 10th is a date, and I'll have your email addresses so I can reach out to you and you can decide which one you want to sign up for. So thank you all very much for your time. I really appreciate it.